Come along with me as I harvest fresh herbs from the garden to preserve using the dehydrator. Here I'm collecting some oregano, but you'll see I'm getting a little bit of this herb, a little bit of that herb. My goal is to fill up the dehydrator as much as possible. It's not always easy to get a large enough harvest from one herb to fill up the whole thing. Now I'm grabbing some dill. I don't have a whole lot of dill to harvest, but rather than allowing it to go to waste before I have cucumbers and can make pickles, I'd rather preserve it, and if necessary, I'll use the dehydrated dill in my pickle recipe. Now I'm getting some cilantro, which will be great in a salsa recipe, but will I still have cilantro growing when it's time to harvest tomatoes? Now I'm going to grab some chives, but first I want to grab these last few chive blossoms to add to the chive blossom vinegar I started. I'll show you that later. Chives is sometimes one of those herbs that people don't love to dehydrate because it turns brown. I'll show you later that you can dehydrate chives. They can stay green, keep nutrients and flavor. Cutting off a little rue. And of course, there's always more than enough mint to harvest from. This is probably my third or fourth harvest for dehydrating this season already. I'll show you the big jar at the end. Now here's everything I collected. Let's go in, get it washed, and into the dehydrator. After rinsing each herb, I do give it a go in the salad spinner to remove the excess moisture. That's a lot of mint. Now let's get it all laid out on the dehydrator trays. I ended up with 2 trays of mint. I have 1 tray of cilantro, 1 tray of dill. Now I'm going to grab the chive blossoms and toss it into the chive blossom vinegar I already started. But I only have 2 here, and I could have sworn I grabbed 3. Oh well, moving on. 1 tray of chives, and finally 1 tray of rue. Oh, and look what I found. Let's get the dehydrator started. It's the next day, everything is done. Now time to get everything in jars. The secret to making sure your dehydrated herbs stay as green, fragrant, and with as much nutrients as possible is to dehydrate on the lowest possible temperature. For me, that's 95 degrees. I mean, when you think about it, 95 degrees is lower than your body temperature. So you're not cooking it. And technically, yes, these herbs are still considered raw. I mentioned that people don't like to dehydrate chives because they turn brown. Look at these chives. They are not brown. They are still very green. They still smell like chives and taste like them. So there's no reason to dehydrate them on a higher temperature just to get them done faster maybe, and risk them turning brown, losing nutrients and flavor. Look how green this dill is. I mean, dill is one of the most delicate, fragile herbs that I can think of right now, and this is still green. It still smells like dill and tastes like dill. I do like to put a desiccant pack inside the jars when I'm storing my dried herbs because it just helps extend the shelf life. If I was planning to store these or keep these for long term, like maybe a year or more, I would consider using an oxygen absorber. Everything's in a jar and ready to go on the shelf. The jar in the middle is a half-gallon jar, and that, of course, is my mint. I've been harvesting the mint since the very beginning of spring, and I plan to continue to do so until it stops producing. I want to have enough mint to get through the winter and to spring again when I'm harvesting more next year. It's a great herb to have on hand, especially if you like to drink medicinal teas that don't taste as great and you want to mask the flavor a little bit. So hopefully this encourages you to harvest more mint. I know you have it in your garden. I hope this also encourages you to preserve your harvests. Our grandparents and great-grandparents had gardens and even farms in some cases, and they didn't just grow that food to eat it fresh during that season. They preserved it and they saved it for the future. I encourage you to look into how you can preserve your food as much as possible so that your garden continues to give even after the growing season is over. Thanks for watching, and please come back to see the rest of the shenanigans I have going on for the rest of the growing season.